In this video, we'll show you how to replace the gas spring on your Desk V Series desk riser by Vivo. The tools you'll need for the replacement are a pair of pliers or an adjustable wrench, a 5mm Allen wrench, and the replacement gas spring, which is available from Vivo. Please contact us about receiving your replacement gas spring. You'll find the gas springs located in this position on each side of the desk. It's not common for the gas springs to fail on these. The possible causes could be a failed lock that's preventing the gas spring from being able to move, or the seal has failed, allowing the pressure to escape, so the spring no longer functions. The first thing you have to do is remove these plastic nut covers. Firmly grip the cover and pull it off from the nut. With the covers removed, take your pliers or wrench and grip the nut on the back. Use the Allen wrench to remove the bolt at the top of the gas spring. When pulling the bolt out, you may want to lift up slightly on the desktop. There's also a washer inside of the hole, and this may drop out while you're pulling the bolt out. Make sure not to lose this washer. And now do the same to remove the bolt on the base, holding the bottom of the gas spring. There are spacers inside of this joint, which you'll want to make sure not to lose. There's also a washer on each side. And now with the gas spring free, loosen the nut at the end of the spring just a little. This will allow you to unscrew the spring from the silver hinge bracket. The spring is now removed and the new one can be installed. Screw the new gas spring into the silver hinge. Making sure not to go too far with it. When it's screwed in all the way, this silver lever will be pushed all the way up without being able to move. Once it's reached that point, turn the nut and then tighten it against the hinge. For placing the new gas spring into the frame, first insert the bolt slightly into the frame. Place a spacer onto the end of the bolt. Insert the gas spring into the frame. Push the bolt through a little more. And now place the other spacer down inside. This one can be a little more difficult, so you may want to use pliers to help put it in place, and then using an Allen wrench through the other hole like I'm doing can help with getting it aligned, so it's much easier to push the bolt through. With that in place, put the washer onto the other end of the bolt, and then place the nut onto the bolt, making sure the small end fits into the hole. And then tighten the nut onto the end of the bolt. Now take the other bolt and place it into the top end of the gas spring. Then place the spacer onto the bolt. And thin the washer, making sure the small side is facing out. The bolt now needs to go through the hole, and if they're not quite lined up, you can adjust the other side if needed, or sometimes you just have to lift up on the desk and push the bolt in. If it's tight, screwing the bolt in a little can help to get it in position. And if the spring is too long, at this point you can lower the desk just slightly to help get things into place. With the bolt now fully fit into the hole, place the nut onto the end. And then tighten the nut and bolt. Since this part does need to be able to move freely, you don't want to over tighten everything. Just get it tight enough that everything is holding in place. The caps can now be pressed back on to the nuts. Installation of the gas spring is now complete, and the desk can be operated normally again. If you have any questions about the process, please contact our customer support team for assistance. Thank you for watching.